Let's have a look at this. Oscar Kipchumba Sudi. I'm finalizing on earth-shaking report that will expose government officers, majorly heads of procurement in parastatals, and ministries who are favoring their own companies under proxies to scoop multi-million government tenders. These well-known individuals are discriminating against and mistreating legit businessmen by locking them out of public government tenders despite being qualified. I will be calling out these culprits one by one who have our ministries in a chokehold. That's Oscar Sudi. So he's promising to expose some corrupt top government officials and those mainly in procurement within the parastatals. Yes. I want us to understand what's happening here. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Let's proceed. According to Auditor General's report, Kenya has been losing a third of its annual budget to corruption. The previous governments, about a third of the annual budget has been going to men and women's pockets. In the 2 years of William Ruto's rule, it's highly possible that that figure has gone up. Corruption might have increased in William Ruto's government. When you talk about corruption, a whopping majority of Kenyans see Ruto as corrupt. And when Rigathi Gachagua was also part of this government, corruption was being headed by Ruto and by Rigathi Gachagua. The only unfortunate bit about it, we were expecting that upon Rigathi being impeached, he was going to spill some beans. He was going to expose to Kenyans what has been happening in William Ruto's government. But instead, Rigathi Gachagua has gone silent. And we are going to explain in our next video after this why Rigathi Gachagua is silent. Before he was impeached, he was very loud. And we all thought that upon him being impeached, he was going to spill some beans. He was going to drop a dossier. But he has gone silent. So he's not helping Kenyans in any way. What is Sudi trying to say? Chances are very high Oscar Sudi might be referring to Rigathi Gachagua and his orphans in government. The government has not changed much. In fact, if you look at the government as it was formed about 2 years ago, there are so many Rigathi Gachagua's allies who are still intact in this government. And even we have a few cabinet secretaries who were appointed because of Rigathi Gachagua. So a good number of Rigathi Gachagua's allies are still in this government. Oscar Sudi might be targeting those Rigathi Gachagua's allies in preparation for the sacking of Rigathi Gachagua's remaining orphans in this government. I think that's what is happening here. And when you talk about corruption, Oscar Sudi is also not very clean. We remember some times back, he was moving around the country donating millions. Where were those millions of Kenyan shillings coming from, if not from corruption? So Oscar Sudi is not a very clean man when you talk about corruption. Oscar Sudi is in a better position to expose those who are corrupt. The only problem here, he'll expose them selectively. Those on his side or maybe those on Ruto's side will be spared. But those on Rigathi's side, those ones will not be spared. So at the end of the day, Oscar Sudi will indeed expose the corrupt. but he'll not expose all of them. If you look at Ruto's government, there are two issues that if William Ruto can address, then nobody knows. Maybe Kenyans can start changing their opinion of him. The first thing is corruption. The second thing is tribalism. A whopping majority of Kenyans are of a very strong opinion that all the sufferings, all the taxes being increased every day, the poor services, lack of services, all these things are happening because of corruption. Money that is meant to build roads and hospitals are being pocketed. Money meant to buy drugs, the capitation amount for schools, all those sums of money are being pocketed. So as a country, we are suffering because of corruption. If William Ruto as the president can address corruption, then we might just start seeing services improving. So the first thing William Ruto should do is to address the issue of corruption. And the war against corruption should not be selective. Whether you are a William Ruto's ally or not, if you are corrupt, you are corrupt. William Ruto should go for any corrupt individual, whether he's ally or not. If he does that, maybe Kenyans will start building confidence in him. The second thing is tribalism. Upon William Ruto and Rigathi coming to power in 2022, let's say 70% of this government is made up of two communities, the mountain and the Kalenjin Rift Valley. Other Kenyans are left in the political cold. If William Ruto can address that issue, if we can see more Kenyans, the face of Kenya, in William Ruto's government, maybe Kenyans once again can start having confidence in Ruto. And a good example is when William Ruto appointed some ODM leaders in his government. We saw the kind of celebration that happened in those areas. If William Ruto could replicate that across the country, then we might find celebrations across the country in praise of Ruto. So William Ruto should sack the ethnic appointments they did make with the Rigathi Gachagua. Let us see competent men and women coming from all Kenyan communities. These two issues, corruption and tribalism, if William Ruto can address those two issues, nobody knows. Maybe the tides can start blowing in his favor positively. As I conclude, Rigathi Gachagua is silent because of some reasons. We know that he's not a very clean man, though that's an analysis we are going to dissect in details in our next video. Let me stop it there. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give the video a like. Any person watching us outside Kenya for the first time, drop a comment, let us know from which part of the globe you are watching us from. If possible, subscribe, give the video a like. Oscar Sudi is not your ordinary member of parliament. He is in William Ruto's inner circle. So when he makes public such sentiments, you can just understand what's going on behind the scenes. Some people are already being profiled for removal. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.